Okay, so I know a lot of people are waiting for me to do the video regarding the epilepsy and the Cane Corso. I've been waiting for official pedigrees from FCI Puerto Rico, as it was 20 years ago that I owned and bred this breed. Might take a few weeks to get those pedigrees still. And when I do get those pedigrees, I will make a video showing the pedigrees of the actual dogs I had. However, I decided I'd put out just a quick video, as a lot of people are asking and they're wanting to see what it is I'm talking about. So, what I've researched over the last 20 years, and I've been continuously researching this, talking with people dealing with epilepsy, looking at pedigrees, looked at my pedigrees, and there's 3 dogs. There's more than 3, but there's 3 definite dogs connected. They're foundation dogs. 2 brothers and a sister. So they're siblings. And unfortunately, they're in almost every single pedigree that comes out of Italy. It's almost impossible to not have them. The unfortunate thing is, there's a lot of pedigrees coming out of Italy today, and coming out of the States or wherever, that have these dogs 16, 20 times or more in a pedigree, which is a little crazy, and people wonder why the epilepsy has actually gotten so bad over the years. But anyways, enough with that. I'll just show you the pedigrees. So we have Otello, as I believe his name is probably pronounced. Pedigree number 11. Doesn't have a whole lot of kids on paperwork, or on the database. And his brother is Plud. Everybody knows who Plud is. He's in everybody's pedigree nowadays, as he was an incredible producer. Produced excellent type, but unfortunately the health isn't there. And anybody that's been around long enough knows that that is the truth. And then his sister Elsa. But here's what I'll do first. Argos. Now we have Argos. Nice male. He's in a ton of pedigrees, but I'm only going, he's a very, very popular dog. But I'm only going to show you one pedigree, as it's another popular dog. If I can get this to click. Nope. Hold on. Okay. So, here's his pedigree. Now, Argos, his father's Otello, and his mother is also out of the same dog. Now, a lot of people don't know him, but here's the dog you do know, as he is in a ton of pedigrees. I don't know why I keep clicking the wrong thing. Rubens. Now, Rubens, his mother and father, as you can see, they're litter mates. But his mother is also a daughter of Otello. So we're talking a heavily inbred pedigree. You're looking at 4 generations. Technically only 3 if you don't count Rubens. 3 generations behind him. And we're seeing Otello 4 times. And that is crazy. Now, I had Rubens' grandkids. This dog, Calabrese Nico. Now, he's got a few pedigrees on here. So, for what's listed for his kid, or his kids, are not correct, as he did sire a lot of litters. And we'll look at his pedigree quick, and then I'll tell you about his litters. So we see Rubens. He's got a ton. And then we go down here. Now, I have to open this up. We'll just go 6 generations, see what happens. Because his mom also has Otello. So Ivan has no pedigree. So who knows what it is. Could be the same pedigree, as there was only a handful of dogs that basically started the breed on paperwork in Italy. So they didn't want everything to look too heavily inbred, even though it was. So his mom, Betty, out of Argos Otello, which we know has quite a bit, it's already inbred. So there's 6 times, at least, that he has that dog. Now, you have to remember this is Plud's brother. Now, Nikos was bred to quite a few females when he came to the States, as he was an incredibly beautiful dog. Beautiful Formentino dog. Perfect in almost every way imaginable. And he won a lot at the shows. And every single litter he ever produced had epileptic puppies. Every litter. That is the absolute truth. Some of the litters had alarming numbers of epilepsy. Now, I had a daughter of Nikos and a granddaughter of Nikos. My big female, the big blue brindle that was 164 pounds, she was a daughter of Nikos. And my black female, Kenya, she was a granddaughter of Nikos. Now, Kenya's father was a Darium dog. Go back and I'll show you. Give me a second. Actually, let's go this way. And Kenya's, there it is. Now, my other male, Aragorn, was out of the same dog. Now, York. Now, York is also, if we look, he's a brother to Uric, which everybody knows Uric, as he's in most pedigrees. Now, most people that have been around the breed long enough and have experienced epilepsy knows that the moment you put Uric and Rubens together, you're in for, unfortunately, trouble most of the time as you're playing with fire. But we'll look at a 7-generation pedigree of Uric, and we'll see how many times we can find Plud, his brother Otello, and his sister Elsa. So 1, 2, there's Elsa. Very famous female Seda, as she was Quasar, Quarren, and a bunch of others, the mother. So we're at 2, 3, I have a feeling this dog Kira might be a litter mate, but they just have her listed as an unknown pedigree, so it doesn't look too much inbreeding back in the day when they were just getting things off the ground. So I believe we were at 3, 4, 5. Now you have to remember, this isn't much of a pedigree. It says 7 generations, but we're not even looking at the 7th. I could probably do 5 generations, as most of these dogs are running, well, 6. They're all running down the same line. They're all in the 5th and 6th generation, pretty much. So that is not a lot of dogs to count, and you're seeing the same 3 litter mates over and over and over. And then now when you think about it, let's see, go to Uric, and you think of how many kids he has, and Rubens being the same. And you can nowadays, and this is just what's in the database, and you can nowadays look at pedigrees of modern Corsos, as you have to remember these dogs were alive a long time ago, and you can look, when's he born? 98. So that's quite a long time ago. You can produce a generation almost yearly, as in Italy a lot of the dogs were bred just under a year. A lot of the females were anyways. So you can go almost 20 generations in this time. And I see dogs now that have Uric in their pedigree 10, 20 times. So if you've got Uric in your pedigree 10, 20 times, imagine how many times you have Otello and Plood in your pedigree. So a good majority of the dogs today have, between Uric and Rubens, when you mix those two dogs together, like I said, most people that have been around a long time know that that's a danger zone, basically. But a lot of the time when you mix those two dogs together in a pedigree, and you look at pedigrees of dogs alive today, you can count those dogs 20, 30 times. And then imagine how many times you're counting Otello, Plood, and his sister Elsa. That it's insanity. And it's the reason that the epilepsy is at such an alarming rate. And that is not to say these were good dogs. Uric is one of my favorite dogs out there, period. And what he produces, in my opinion, is some of the very best dogs that's ever been alive in this breed. However, there comes a lot of danger with it. So I'm not going to ramble, as it's really late, and I just wanted to do a quick thing on the pedigree, or the pedigrees that I was talking about. There are more pedigrees that I will touch on, but this was just a quick little video. But like I said, this dog, Otello, pedigree number 11, and his siblings, Elsa, pedigree number 70, and Plood, which everybody knows who Plood is. Those three siblings, born in 1987, are clearly dogs that are producing some sort of gene that runs a high risk for seizure behavior in the breed. And that's after 20 years of research with talking with a lot of people. And you have to remember, this isn't looking at pedigrees of today, as pedigrees of today are littered with these dogs. This is looking at the pedigrees way back when dogs were beginning to have seizures, and it was actually being noted outside of Italy. So these were dogs from very early on that were having seizures, that were closely linked. They were grandkids of these dogs, and great-grandkids. They weren't like 10 generations off now, like how most pedigrees are, 10, 15 generations down from these dogs. You have to usually go way back in your pedigree to see this. But most people, if you go back, which I think on this page, I think you can go maybe 10 generations. If you go back 10 generations and you count how many times you see Otello, Plood, and their sister Elsa, you'll probably be a little bit shocked that there's that much of these dogs in the pedigree.